Hey everybody, back again, and today we are making a grappling hook out of a file. If you saw this video, you would have seen we've been having trouble with some of the trees around here. They're these crappy Chinese elm trees. They get really tall really fast and they're really weak softwood, so they break and they cause all kinds of damage to property. My plan is to manage a few of these branches, but I need some way to get a rope up on them and get a hold of them without, climbing up there on a ladder and risking these rickety branches snapping off while I'm doing it. So, grappling hook. What we're going to do is we're going to cut this section of tang off here first, and then we will actually make 3 separate cuts up through this section here, and those cuts are going to leave us 3 prongs that we can make into our hooks. I'm also going to cut off a section somewhere up here once I've got my hooks drawn out and made, just so I know exactly how long I want this. Then I can punch a hole through it on the top, and that'll be our hole for our rope to tie to. So let's get the fire lit, throw this in there, and make us a grappling hook. Now that we've got that cut off, we're going to go ahead and cut some strips so we have our hooks. So we got our grappling hook all finished up, and as you can see, it is still 100+ degrees here in Utah. All you have to do is look at my face. That tells you I'm recording in the summer. This video is probably not going to be out to January or February, but we'll see. So, grappling hook is finished up. As you can see, I did a loop knot through there, and then tied a bunch of overhands and melted the ends together just on the one side, so we still have the one piece of rope solid that runs all the way through, which is kind of bolstered around where that hook is, just to help when it's rubbing against the tree, when this eventually grabs a hold of a tree, so it can hook the branches or hook other things. As you can see, I've got my slot here that I punched out, which allows this to travel back and forth freely on those angles, but doesn't let it come off. And then it's going to be kind of hard to see how I did this, but these ends are actually those scrolls that I had opened up and lapped around it to lock it in place. So basically, when the rope is pulling, it's pressurizing that section. And even if it wasn't there, you could hook something in there and pull on it all day and it wouldn't come loose. It's going to have to break probably one of the tines off to get this to come loose if I don't, you know, just whip it free if this gets stuck or I pull too hard. The tines are probably going to be the thing that would break first. I've got it attached to about 25 feet of rope, maybe closer to 30, but I know I'm not going to be able to throw this thing that whole distance, so I gave myself some extra leeway to, you know, throw it and use it to tie off and things like that. But very simple little grappling hook. I can see us having a lot of fun with this in the future. So let's go ahead and just do some grappling hook stuff with it. So like I said before, let's do some grappling hook stuff, see if it grapples and if it hooks. Oh yeah. It grapples and it hooks. So here's the tree branches that we had to get rid of the other day. Let's see if I just throw this over here. Oh yeah, that sinks in good fast. That's correct in. Yep, that hooks up well. Yep, we're locked up good there too. Hooked up on that branch pretty good. Sunk in there pretty deep too. It functions pretty well. It's able to grab a hold pretty easy. I don't want you to get hurt, dude. So this is a very heavy piece of wood, probably 500 to 800 pounds. Let's give this a test to see how strong my hooks are. Well, I have to say the hooks are nice and sturdy, nice and strong. They're staying to shape, they're not bending or deforming. And it's pretty easy to just throw this sucker over something. That time I got 2 hooks. That's bitten in hard, man. Those hooks are going about an inch into the wood, and I haven't even sharpened them with a file or anything. So, definitely working well. So, it grapples, it hooks, it catches, the hooks are strong, it's nice and sturdy. I'm pleased with how this turned out. If you guys want to make one of these for yourselves, go ahead and give it a shot. You might want to either buy a D-ring for this if you don't exactly understand how this mechanism I created works. It's basically you twist and then you fold the flats and bend them into each other so you have a lock ring on the end essentially that is solid. That's not going anywhere. It'll have to break off one of the hooks if it wants to come loose. If you don't want to go through the hassle of making your own loop ring, you can either just tie the rope directly to the grappling hook, but I would recommend having a D-ring of some kind so it can free rotate, and it makes it easier for this thing to get a hold of whatever it's trying to grab and stay inside of it. As I said before, the knot is just a simple loop knot and then a bunch of overhand knots, and then you melt one side of your nylon and squish it into the main rope so that won't come loose ever. That is a solid, abrasion-resistant kind of section of knot there because it's thicker and almost braided. You could braid it if you wanted to, but I don't have the time for that. You don't have the time for that. Just do a loop knot and some round knots. But that does it for today's video. If you guys like what you're seeing, do me a favor, do that thing right there. Until next time, God bless, stay sharp out there. If you're looking for a custom sharp object, make sure to check out the Etsy store. Link will be at the end of the video.